Hi, my name is Juan Camilo Rodriguez Preciado, and in this video, I'm going to explain the process that I did for the phase 3 of the course Integral Practices. For this phase, I have to work on the previous recordings, the ones that I made for the phase 2 of the course. So for this phase, number 3, I had 2 recordings, both were of a saxophone, and I decided to work with the DAW Reaper. After I imported the first track, I created the session, I imported the first track. I did a little review of the sound of the saxophone. And after the review, I decided to apply a equalization. I applied the equalization by using the plugin that the DAW Reaper has. And with the equalization process, what I did was to reduce the noise that I didn't want it in the song and to give a level to the sound of the saxophone. That's the reason why I did this equalization process. After I finished the equalization process, I decided to add some uh, automations in regards to the stereo image. Here you can see the first automations. What it does is that it helps the sound to go from left to right, and then it returns to the center. And that gives to the listener the idea that the sound is moving. After I added this automation, I added 2 channels to the session. The first channel I used to add 2 sound effects, a delay and a reverb. And with the automations, I, I added the automations in order to control the sound effect. So here you can see the level automation. This helps the effect to only appear at this part of the song. In this part is the only part that you're going to hear these 2 sound effects, the reverb and the delay. And with the stereo image automation, I make the sound move from left to right at this part of the song. The third channel, I added this channel in order to add another reverb. This reverb appears at the end of the song. And to control the effect, in order to only appear at the end of the song, I added this level automation. That's the reason you can see this line goes from down to up, and it helps me to control the sound effect. At the end of the song is the only part that you're going to hear this sound effect, this reverb. After I added the sound effects, I finished to work with this track by checking that everything was okay, that the level was okay, and that's the work done with the first track. With the second track, I get a little bit more creative. So for this track, I only had one recording of the saxophone. It's the one that appears on the first channel. But as I said, I get a little bit creative, so I added the same track on 2 different channels. It's the same track, it's a copy, and I did this in order to develop my idea. As I did with the first track, I started the process with an equalization. You can see the equalization that I did. It's very similar to the one that I did with the first track. The equalization helps me to eliminate the noise that I didn't want it and to reinforce the sound of the saxophone. You can see, and these 2 channels, number 1 and number 2, are the same. The sound of the saxophone, the audio file is the same, it's just a copy, and the equalization made is the same, it's just a copy. Here you can see. After I finished the equalization process, I decided to add a sound effect. For this, I added the tear channel. Uh, I want to say that the sound effects that I added to the track number 1 and track number 2, I used the same process. Here I'm going to explain it. So this third channel, it only receives the sound of the first two channels, number 1 and number 2. It is not a copy of the recording of the saxophone. It only receives the sound, and in this way, I can work with sound effect. This sound effect is a reverb, and the sound effect appears through the whole song. You hear it from the start till the end of the song. And that's the reason I didn't add it and label automation or any other thing. Here you can see the reverb sound effect. And with the fourth channel, it works in the same way. It receives the sound of the first two channels, number 1, number 2. And with these channels, I work with the delay effect. Here you can see the delay. And to control the delay effect, I only want it to appear at this part of the song. It's closer to the end, not precisely the end of the song. It's close to the end of the song. And here you can see with the automation, the level automation, I can control that the effect only appears at this part. You can see, take a closer look. Here you can see the effect. Here it goes from a very low level, very low volume. This part you can hear the effect without any trouble. In this part, the sound effect disappears, and in this part, sorry, the sound effect reappears. You can hear it very well, and then it disappears again till the end of the song. You are not going to hear the sound effect anymore. Okay, and finally, I added some stereo image automations. I added these automations on the first two channels, and I'm going to take a closer look. So here you can see with the two channels. The first channel, this automation helps me to control that the sound only goes at 50% on your left headphone or stereo. So you're going to hear this channel at 50% during this part. At this point, all the sound, all of the song goes completely to your left headphone. Here it goes 100%, and then it decreases till it returns to the 50%. That's how this automation helps the song. It controls the stereo image with this channel, the first channel, and I did a very similar work with the second channel. So I'm going to, yeah. Here you can see the second channel, that is the same sound of the saxophone. With this with this stereo image automation, what I did was to send the 50% of the sound by your right headphone, your right headphone. Here it goes 50% from this part till this part. Here it goes 100% on your right side. So the song, you're only going to hear the saxophone on your right headphone, and then it slowly returns to the 50% on the right side. So with these two stereo image automation, what I did was to create the stereo image by using the two channels at different levels. Here at 50%, also here at 50%, left and right, and you hear the saxophone completely. With the level and stereo image automations, I like kind of control the sound that it appears to move on your headphones or stereo. And that's, well, exactly, that's all the work that I did, all the editing and mixing process that I did with these two tracks in order to complete the phase 3 of the course. Uh, Thank you so much. That's it.